Good morning, guys. This is Gach, and welcome to a new video of another set of exercises that I want to teach during this quarantine period. First of all, I hope that since the last workout or last video rather, everyone has been active and quarantine has been good to all of you. And as you know, if you watched the previous video, it focused more on dumbbell exercises. And I understand that there are a lot of people who want to be active but don't have the equipment for it to perform those exercises. So for this video, it will be dedicated to those who don't have any equipment but can still perform a lot of different exercises and routines to keep themselves active and promote rather a healthier lifestyle for them at home during quarantine. So before we start with the actual routine or set of exercise that I'm going to teach, I'd just like to share some thoughts from the previous video, which focused mostly on the dumbbell exercises. Um, some of those who watched actually commented in the video and made a lot of good points to talk about whenever you do decide to perform those exercises. So I'll just be sharing my own thoughts based on the sources that I've used, which were not mentioned in the previous video. So when you perform dumbbell exercises, you want to make sure that you don't focus too much on the actual length of the whole routine. You don't need to work out for pretty much more than an hour max. If it's around 30 minutes or less, that's okay. Even 15 minutes or less. What you should be more focused on or conscious about is the length of the rest periods in between. You do this because you want to maintain your rest periods between each exercise sa dumbbells, either 1 minute max or less. You do this to make sure that your whole body stays stressed. You can't completely feel relaxed for the next exercise because it defeats the purpose of the routine to promote maximum results in your exercise. So again, you avoid overtraining in terms of the total length of the exercise, but you should be conscious rather of the rest periods because for one, it saves time. You finish your workout more quickly, which will then lead to more time the rest of the day to focus on resting. And also, that way you're gonna be more conscious about maximizing each exercise, each set, and each repetition of the exercise that you will be doing, depending on what muscle you will focus on. So just a basic concept of how it works, the growth of those muscles in a dumbbell exercise. What you want to focus on, and this applies in my course, it's a concept called time under tension. So in any muscle strengthening program, you get your maximum results if you are able to maximize the muscle contraction you're able to perform, depending on the muscle you are targeting. So when we say contraction, this involves both the shortening of the muscle and the lengthening of the muscle. So as a basic example, if a common exercise that everyone should be aware of is a bicep curl. And the action of a bicep is to bend the elbow, flex the elbow, so like this. So since that is the action of the bicep, as you perform the curl and bend your elbow, that is the shortening of the bicep. And you want to maximize that because as you go from this position to back to the original position, the lengthening, and you control your movement throughout or follow the tip that I used wherein it's an explosive movement up against the gravity while controlling your movement down so that you focus more on the contraction of the muscle rather than gravity pulling the muscle down. That's when you maximize your muscle contraction for that muscle as an example. So it's a basic concept supposedly, but not a lot of people are aware of this because not everyone that teaches dumbbell training actually focus too much on the basics, which is supposedly the foundation of a good program. So this is among other things, but of course, aside from the concept of muscle contraction, you also want to make sure that whatever weight you decide to use, it should be something that you are in complete control of. Hence, the maximizing muscle contraction, because once you lose your control of the exercise, you also lose your ability to contract the muscle. And the number of repetitions you perform are actually based on the goals you want to achieve. And we don't have to talk much about those because, for now rather, because that's a very detailed process. It has a lot of concepts behind it, and it focuses more on the discipline that I'm studying now, which is physical therapy. So maybe in future videos, we can dive deeper into those topics. And in a way, you get to learn more about physical therapy and even exercise science in general through that. So those are some of the things that I was supposed to highlight in the previous video, but wasn't able to. And hopefully, if you've already tried the dumbbell exercises, maybe for the next session you'll be able to take note of that. And also, please be aware of some safety procedures when carrying the dumbbell, especially when you lie down on the mat and try to perform the dumbbell exercise, particularly sa chest. It can be very stressful for the back and the wrist if you're not aware of the right way of carrying the dumbbell as you perform the exercise. So that would be all for the review of the previous video. As a bonus, I actually have here the source that I use for a lot of the exercises I perform. This is a magazine of dumbbell exercises, but this isn't the only source I used. But anyways, if there are other exercises that you're curious to try aside from the basic ones in the previous video, it's here. It says here in the magazine that there are around 72 exercises you can find. So if you're interested in learning more types of exercise, feel free to maybe message me or let me know in any way, because all the information I need is with me already. So that would be all for the first part. Now, I'd also like to introduce another concept as I perform the new set of exercises, because this set will be purely body weight. And with body weight exercises, you focus less on the concept behind the dumbbell exercises, which is more of a localized or focused group, because in the dumbbell exercise rather, it's very common to just focus on a certain group of muscles. Like I said, the bicep curl, it's really just the biceps being emphasized. With body weight, since it's literally your whole body being the weight that you will be carrying, it's more common to find different types of exercises that engage the whole body. And with this, it's common to get mistakes in the form, whether in the upper or lower body, depends on how you manage your thoughts throughout the exercise. So as I perform each exercise, it's very important to get to know the concept of a mind, between the connection of the mind and the muscle, or the body and the mind. So you don't really want to zone out or feel like you're not really into it mentally when you're performing the exercise, because that's when you're most likely to have the wrong form. And you can't do that because your results will not be maximized that way. So with that, we can start with the first exercise, which will be push-ups. And there will be a lot of variations. So just follow follow na lang sa basics of what I will be teaching as I perform the push-up, step by step. Okay na? Okay na? Tayo na. So, I'll be performing the push-up here. Here goes na lang. Claro. So, for the push-up, I'll start with the very basic or the most common push-up shoes. So, for the basic push-up, first thing you have to be aware of are your hands. Ideally around shoulder width apart. So that's the first thing your mind has to be conscious about, your hands. So, ideally stressful. Be aware of your hand. And then next would be your head, neutral position, or for me, what's easier to remember is just look straight down so that you don't have to tilt any sideways, forward, or backward. Then from here, this is the starting position. You want to maximize the muscle contraction of the triceps, since when you're going down, it's gravity that will be helping you go down. And as you go up, since you're straightening your arms, that will be the action of the triceps against gravity. So the concept here is you control your movement going down. And then from this position, aside from your awareness of your arms, you also want to be aware of your shoulder blades actually retracting and feeling like they're getting closer to each other. So as I perform the push-up, then I should be able to feel a contraction in my shoulder blades. Then for the triceps part, up, fast movement. And another rep, up. Everything is controlled, and you should be conscious at all times of your form. So down, up, up. And make sure na you do a full push-up for maximum results. And I don't want to focus too much on a lot of repetitions, because let's say around 12 push-ups, 3 sets of that with the perfect form, maximum muscle contraction. So that would be the basic push-up. And just for some variations, if they feel too boring and since you're not going to be performing that many reps, maybe you can perform other variations. You can actually choose to widen your base at hands, go further than shoulder width, and to really emphasize other parts of your triceps, this is what you do. So you focus mostly on the same concepts, but this time when you go down, you're going down to each side. So first would be to the left, and control up. As you go up, you go back to the center. So to the right, down, center. This is still a focus on the triceps, but it's a different exercise from what the body is normally used to in a push-up. So that way, the body doesn't really get used to the exercise as quickly, especially if you keep doing variations. So again, up, up. And then for a more full body workout in a push-up, you can go back to the shoulder width, but this time to engage your core and your leg muscles. As you perform the push-up down, you can actually, the concept here is you actually make your knee touch your elbow and then feel the contraction all the way from your core to your leg. So from this position, let's say going to the right, I'm touching, then up, then other side, same concept, up. And then as you go down, you also want your head to look the way of the elbow and knee coming together. So if I perform it to the right, I also want to look at the right. Again, I go down, look at the same direction. One, the other side, two. So you can keep your push-up routine very interesting because there are actually plenty of variations. Those are just a few, and as much as possible, I can't really perform a lot of them since I don't consider myself very strong in performing push-ups in terms of repetitions. But just the fact that you can perform a few repetitions of those type of variations, that's actually very beneficial in terms of how your body can adapt and get stronger doing that exercise. So that would be for the push-up. Next, let's perform some squats. So again, this is this was actually performed in the previous video with dumbbells. And again, the basics. First cue is always your position, starting position. Standing up normally, everything is fun. Hands at the side, and as you go down, you always want to start with your butt going down. You want to maintain a straight, erect back, no slouching. Your head straight forward, and not much leaning forward, and get a sense of balance as you are aware of all these things. And then for the lower body, again, avoid your knees going past the level of your toes, and just focus on the contractions, hamstrings and glutes. So it also helps that as you go down, put your hands here, up, down, then up. So for variations of the squat, there are very many variations. So if this was the basic squat, you can go wider. This activates more of the another set of muscles on the legs instead of the usual quads and hamstrings, glutes group. So go down, can be the same concept like this and up, or sumo. I guess we call this the sumo squat. Go down, sumo position, up. You can even go narrow. So this would be the starting position, and then everything else is the same concept. You go down, feel the contraction, and then the same concept. You can also go sideways. So from the normal position, start with the right, go to the right, there, then back, and left. If you go wider, you can straighten the other leg and lean forward a bit while maintaining the proper back posture. Then other side, stretch this leg, go down, and up. Lunges can be another variation, although it's a completely different name. But yeah, in a lunge, you go forward, the front foot, the weight is balanced between your toes and your heel. Although for me it works better that there's a little more emphasis the weight on the heel. And the knee, of course, not going vertically. Then back leg, you go down, maintain the same basics of back and the head. Go down. You try to go as low as you can without your back knee hitting the floor. Up. And same. Up. Another leg. Up. And then for some more interesting variations, because you can even make it even more fun just by the different movements you're capable of performing during a squat session. Again, with the variations you can experiment in one set. You can actually go wide and then narrow. Wide, narrow. You can go jumping during squat. So jumping squat. It's a little more difficult and challenging, but for more balance it can be forward, back, forward, back. If you master those variations and more challenging exercise called a top jump will be more doable by that time. So for top jump, your aim is to have your knees reach as high as you can, ideally it's a chest. Then you have to swing your arms, not too extremely, but just enough to carry the momentum of your body as you go up. Like that. And the basics here is to really bend your knees by raising your whole leg up. So from this position, from this view, try to jump. Or even without much bending, when you jump, if you're explosive, you feel that your lower body is strong enough, you just do it like that. And in terms of the routine you want to perform, that's pretty much a whole body exercise already, just from push-ups and squats alone. Since the squats focus mostly here, upper leg, just perform the calf raises. Always tap the calves, and you can do some stretching or like mobility exercises the foot, ankle, to avoid injury also when you do different types of exercises that might cause too much stress on the foot. So, I guess that's it. That was actually the timer now. That's since this isn't. Oh, by the way, this is a new venue, but this isn't a permanent venue. So this is a special workout. Maybe by the next video, we won't know exactly where I'll be. But thank you for watching, and I hope you learned something new today. Thank you.
Tinatagay.